It's Friday, April 7th, and this is the Barbados Today afternoon update. I am Marie-Claire Williams. A local credit union is anxious for the government to deliver on its promise to provide a savings protection guarantee scheme for credit unions. Last October, Finance Minister Chris Sinclair said the draft legislation was being fine-tuned. The Deposit Insurance Fund guarantees protection for credit union members up to a certain amount if the institution fails. COB's Chief Executive Officer, Steve Bell, says it is an important move for the island's credit unions.
This issue on savings insurance has been with us for a number of years. There was a group set up by the league who would have done an assessment of the program and would have submitted to the Minister of Finance. About 2 years ago, at the budget speech, I know the Minister of Finance did say that they were introducing insurance deposit to savings deposits insurance to credit unions, but we've heard nothing else since then. We're hoping that it will be a reality sooner rather than later.
Convicted killer Troy Tyrone Stanford will have to serve his full 18-year sentence at Her Majesty's Prison Dodds. That's because the Caribbean Court of Justice has upheld the ruling of the Barbados Court of Appeal and dismissed his plea of self-defense. Stanford, a ZR driver, was charged with murdering Matthew Joseph following an altercation on June 15, 2008. The incidents occurred following a cavalcade held at Bush Hall, St. Michael. Stanford was convicted of manslaughter, but the CCJ dismissed the notion that the trial judge had failed to direct the jury on the issue of self-defense based on the evidence presented. The regional court also held that Stanford's decision to shoot Joseph was neither prompted by fear of attack on himself, nor was it reasonable in the circumstances. One of Stanford's attorneys, Sophia Moore, says the court ruling was significant since it provides guidance on how to deal with the issue of self-defense in future cases. Barbados is well on its way to becoming a green economy, and it's not only expanding initiatives to save energy. According to the head of the United Nations Development Program in Barbados, Stephen O'Malley, the island is creating new jobs under the Disaster Risk and Energy Access Management Project. O'Malley made the comments at the awards ceremony for people involved in the Flip the Switch competition.
The project is a very important one for us. It has a number of different components. That includes putting solar PV panels on the top of 35 community centers, of 9 polyclinics, and of undertaking awareness-raising activities like this. And you might think to yourself, well, everybody's thinking about solar energy, or everybody's thinking about questions of wind energy, but really there's a lot more that we can all learn, and particularly, as the PS said, making sure that we're reaching the youth of the community and underemployed people, because certainly if you look at the future and the questions around green jobs and sustainable and renewable energy, this is going to be, it has major potential for Barbados.
And Minister responsible for Energy, Darcy Boyce, says government has been quietly retrofitting government buildings and departments, and it is paying off.
By the end of this year, 40 community centres, polyclinics, and other public buildings will be outfitted with solar photovoltaic systems. Not only small buildings, there will be some large buildings. I think there are 13 quite large buildings that we intend to also outfit with solar PV by the end of this year. Additionally, the Government of Barbados, through the Division of Energy and Telecommunications, has successfully distributed and installed approximately 27,000 LED lights and 1,000 inverter-driven air conditioning units in the QEH, the Geriatric Hospital, the Defence Force, schools, polyclinics, police stations, post offices, and fire stations across the island. And this is a very well-hidden secret. 27,000 LED bulbs and 1,000 air conditioning systems, driven very efficient energy systems. In support of these programs, the division was able to distribute about, listen to this, 60,000 LED lights to the general public to reduce the energy consumption in households under this Energy Smart Fund Lighting Distribution Initiative.
There's regional and international news after this short break. potatoes. Wait, my girl, how you want you for long?
I can't how you keeping, but you don't sell the nation paper no more.
But that paper ain't selling. This month now I stop selling that. Look, one time I would have made a little dollar on the Sunday sun. But when Sunday night, I still trying to get the weather there.
Well, you know you can't call that the Sunday sun no more. You gotta call that Sunset News. Call at no time that news stale.
People complain that them ain't got nothing in it to read, and the price keep going up all the time. A woman abused me so sick the other day, tell me that she does read Barbados today online for free. I can't take that abusing soul, so I switched to my potatoes and yams.
Well, let me tell you, if pork selling, you got to raise pigs. How much for the yams?
Oh, 75 cents a pound.
But that's cheaper than that stale news. Give me...
How much you want?
a pound.
Only a pound? Anyhow, these eating real good. Let me wrap them up for you. Come.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To the region now, it is not the best of times for the Trinidad and Tobago economy, and economists lament that the country's politicians are lacking the political will to make tough economic decisions. That was the consensus emerging from a UE forum on the politics of the economy. We get more in this report from TV6 News.
Important decisions suffering from the mentality that any time is Trini time. Diversification, property tax reform, tax administration reform, ideas talked about for decades but never implemented. Why? Experts at a UE St. Augustine forum offered one explanation. Leaders just don't have the political will to make tough choices.
Sustainable agriculture is where our economy should be thriving. But because that doesn't send people to school for free or put laptops in their book bags, it doesn't get votes. And if it doesn't get votes, it doesn't get supported.
Panelists agreed that governments depended on the windfalls from oil and gas to keep people happy and try to stay in power. That makes changes to the structure of our economy hard to implement.
We have always been very sweet in this country, notwithstanding the crime levels and those things. We lead a very sweet life. Oil and gas has always given us a false sense of comfort.
They agreed the government shouldn't let a recession go to waste. Now, they say, is the time to make difficult choices, such as cuts in government spending.
And finally, on the international scene, Russia and Syria have condemned the first U.S. strikes launched after a chemical weapons attack that killed dozens of civilians earlier in the week. Russian President Vladimir Putin denounced the strike on a Syrian airfield as an act of aggression and said it violated international law. Western leaders backed the U.S. action, saying Syrian President Bashar al-Assad had brought it on himself. On the orders of President Donald Trump, 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles were launched from U.S. warships in the eastern Mediterranean. The missiles were directed at an airfield believed by the U.S. to be the base for warplanes that carried out the chemical attack on Tuesday. Syria said 6 people were killed in the strike. And that's news at this hour. For more, you can visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Or you can tune in to Channel 99 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news. I am Mary Claire Williams. Good afternoon.